If you want a handheld but don't want to spend more than 600 bucks, this is your list. Windows Gaming, Android Power, Cloud Play, and Nintendo's library, all under $600. Let's find the one that fits you. We're comparing these five through one simple lens. How the display looks, how much power you're really getting, how the controls feel over longer sessions, the OS and ecosystem you'll live in, how easy storage is to expand, what battery life you can expect in the real world, and overall portability. No pros and cons, just what each device is, what it's like to use, and who it makes sense for. Links in the description. Check live pricing. Before we start, tap subscribe so you don't miss next review picks. At number 5, Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. It's small enough to disappear into a sling or jacket pocket, with a bright phone-sized display that makes older games look crisp without blowing them up. Inside, the Dimensity chip gives you smooth emulation across classic systems and plenty of headroom for indie Android titles, so you can bounce from retro platforms to modern mobile releases without ever feeling like you're wrestling the device. The physical controls are snappy and reassuring. Clicky face buttons, confident shoulders, and compact sticks that stay precise even when the action gets twitchy. Because it's Android, setup is exactly how you want it. Your launcher, your front ends, your streaming apps, your cloud saves. Add a micro SD card, and you've basically got a travel-size arcade you can organize by era or genre. Battery life is strong for the workloads this device excels at, and USB-C charging keeps it simple. If nostalgia machine that fits anywhere is your brief, the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro nails it. Number 4 is the Logitech G Cloud is built around comfort and streaming. Pick it up and it feels like a full-size controller that happens to have a sharp 7-inch 1080p screen in the middle. The weight is light, the balance is right, and the grips are generous, which matters a ton when you're settling in for a few hours of cloud gaming. Fire up Xbox Cloud Gaming, GeForce Now, Steam Link, or Moonlight from your own PC and you're playing big titles without the heat, fan noise, or battery hit of a Windows handheld. Locally, you still get Android apps and lighter games from the Play Store, but the G Cloud's sweet spot is that couch, coffee, and perfect Wi-Fi experience, where everything just works. Controls are familiar and fatigue-free, nothing flashy, just consistent. Storage needs are minimal if you mostly stream, yet there's micro SD if you like to download media or a few favorites. The best part is battery life. Because it's not rendering heavy 3D locally, you can play for ages. If your home network is solid and you own or rent games on the cloud, the G Cloud is the most relaxed way to enjoy them. In the third spot, AYN's Odin 2 Pro sits right in the Android power user pocket. Compact like a phone, premium in the hand, and fast enough to chew through ambitious apps and higher-tier emulation. The 6-inch display is a sweet spot, big enough for modern UI and text without turning the device into a slab. And the chassis feels dense and put together, more like a dedicated console than a modded phone. Snapdragon horsepower means snappy front ends, quick loads, and the kind of headroom that lets you push settings up a notch without constant tweaking. The controls strike a lovely balance. The sticks are confident, the triggers are properly analog, and the overall layout feels tuned for both retro precision and modern action. Because it's full Android with Play Store access, everything lives here. Emulators, game stores, streaming, even productivity apps if you want a little mini computer on the side. Pop in a large micro SD and keep one tidy library for classics and another for native Android games. Battery life is strong, thermals are well managed, and charging is quick. If you want one handheld that does apps plus EMU plus streaming with polish, the Odin 2 Pro is that do-everything option. Next. The Switch OLED is the easiest handheld to recommend to almost anyone, because it's not just the hardware, it's the life you get with it. The 7-inch OLED panel is punchy and gorgeous in handheld mode. The slimmer bezels make it feel modern, and the revised kickstand finally makes tabletop play real. What sets it apart is the ecosystem. You undock to play on the couch, dock it for the TV, hand a Joy-Con to a friend for instant co-op, and tap into a library stacked with iconic first-party games and a sea of indies that are perfect for bite-sized sessions. Controls are modular, so you can use Joy-Con or bring in a Pro controller when you're docked. Storage is simple to expand with microSD, and cartridges still have that grab-and-go charm. Battery life is predictable, and charging is zero friction thanks to the dock. If your definition of a great handheld is less about tinkering and more about sitting down and having fun, alone or with family, the Switch OLED is the most frictionless path there. Finally, the ROG Ally with the ASUS chip is the gateway to Windows AIA gaming under $600, and it feels like a tiny gaming laptop you can throw in a backpack. You get a sharp 7-inch 1080p display with a fast refresh that makes menus snappy and action-smooth, and a chassis that looks aggressive without being overdone. Because it runs Windows 11, your library is basically your library. Steam, Xbox app and Game Pass, Epic, GOG, emulators, launchers, mods. The same ecosystem you use on your PC. The sticks and triggers feel console native, and ASUS's software layer makes it easy to tweak power modes, cap frame rates, or remap on the fly so you can swing between battery-sipping indie sessions and plugged-in performance bursts. Storage is a fast internal SSD for the games you're playing now, and microSD makes it painless to keep a wider bench ready to install. Battery life depends on how hard you push it, but with sensible settings, reasonable resolution targets, and frame caps, you can dial in a great balance. If you want a true PC gaming experience that's still a handheld, the Ally Z1 is the most flexible, budget-friendly way to do it. Thanks for watching! Check the links below for current deals and details. Tap like, subscribe, and the bell to support the channel. See you in the next review.